What's happening, fam? So we back. We had forgot Brother Shawu again in the middle here. We got Brother Dawood Shabazz, one of the fastest up and coming African American artists in this here U.S. of A. We did not give out your social media handles again where people can find you.
So it's you can always go to Dawood Shabazz Art. As far as you pressing up Dawood Shabazz Art, everything will come up on social media. It's my Instagram, DawoodShabazZArt.com is my website, and Dawood Shabazz Art on Facebook.
Branding, baby.
Yeah.
Branding.
So, you know, when we started this journey and, you know, you got in and you got to see the earlier content. You and my dad ended up spending a lot of time together for a few years.
Yes,
right?
I love to ride with him every day. Yes, he was always there for me. Oh man, even if I had a move to try to make something a little more for myself, I could call on him. I got you, Dawood. I got you.
So how long did it take or didn't take long at all for you to figure out this guy here has seen a lot and done a lot?
Oh, it didn't take long. No, you can see the publicity that he received when he walked in the room. Yeah, and his posture and everything. You can see he has that energy of he about his business.
And speaking about his business, one of the numerous guys. This was covered in Feds magazine.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have all heard of him and follow this stuff. And this was, as we were revisiting some of the old stories and old coverage that a lot of these street legends have gotten. But what people don't know is Mr. Untouchable, a.k.a. Leroy Nicky Barnes, had a lot of Detroit overlap, connections and things. Yeah. So this guy, again, we'll put up some of the photos. Leroy Nicky Barnes, you know, part of the famed council out there in Harlem. But Dad met Leroy at the old 20 grand. You heard the old players talk about the 20 grand.
Mm-hmm.
He was introduced to Leroy Nicky Barnes from a guy by the name of Clarence Gale. Clarence Gale was a big guy back in the day out of Chicago. And he was partners with Nicky. What people don't know, Nicky Barnes owned real estate here in Pontiac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Clarence owned a big apartment complex back out there. And Eddie had got to know Nicky from running around in the streets because they were dealing with some of the same Italians way back in the day. So, you know, now you've been around, I ain't gonna, before you was an artist, or you were still an artist, but you used to. What would you say are some of the things different between the old guys, say, from the 70s, 80s, to kind of what you see going on outside now? And I know you be moving in these fancy circles now with people buying art and selling pictures to Puffy. So, but do you still remember back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, as far as how it went, as far as the old school.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he carry himself, the way they carry himself, and being and sharing with the knowledge of what they've been through. But a lot of these older cats now, some still get caught up in the drugs.
Yeah.
In the drugs. And then I can see he was a smart man that even with the business that he was with, he was smart not to mess with the drugs.
Yeah, Pops never smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
His favorite drink was Diet Pepsi.
You can see that healthiness in him now.
Yeah, but you know, he was hardcore when he was younger, man. He used to drink Coca-Cola straight.
Oh wow!
Back then,
out of the glass bottle.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
rebel.
A rebel.
Yeah.
But no, never smoked, never drank, never smoked a joint in his life.
Yeah, because I mean, it's sad that some of the old schools now, what even I have been part of after I was incarcerated, they still had the mentality to just stay in that same state of mind, and a lot of them have died off now.
Yeah. So, again, I believe I have to do some homework and find out. Will Smith, I think, is supposed to be playing.
Yeah, this was
Nicky
supposed
Barnes,
to be Netflix.
a Netflix series,
a web series about Nicky Barnes' life.
Right now, do you know what the status of that project is?
After the slap, it's hard to say what.
So that's what I figured. I figured that the slap may have stopped, but I think it's already in the can. So eventually it'll come out because people will forget about the slap.
But he has a movie coming out called Emancipation, coming out on Apple Plus. Will Smith. So my assumption is they're waiting for it to blow over a bit before they go ahead and put it out. I, for one, would love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Nicky's story needs to be told. Now, those who are familiar with the story, of course, Nicky would end up, and again, him and Eddie grew such a relationship. You know, the streets knew him as Nicky, but people who were close to him referred to him as Leroy. Eddie Jackson, when you would hear him talking about Nicky Barnes, he never referred to him as Nicky Barnes. He'd be like, I'm going to catch up with Leroy when we're in town. You get a message, Leroy from New York, call
He
him.
had a lot of history with Marzette as well. Am I correct?
Man, that whole crew, Nicky, and that guy Goldfinger, I want to really get some more information on Goldfinger. Might have to reach out to the homie Cavario.
Yeah.
So Cavario was real close to that situation.
Yeah. That whole New York thing.
That whole New York thing, but again, I never forget we was over on the block on French Road, and this girl, working girl, Angie, she was talking about how when she was living in New York, how this guy from Detroit named Texas Slim would come and be getting bricks, right?
Yeah.
Those that know the story, when Eddie and them were at the fight, their thought was through Devil knew Nicky, and Devil knew this guy Goldfinger, and they had hoped that they was going to do an introduction. Then, of course, as those who know the story, as fate would have it, Eddie would end up meeting Carmine Lombardozzi, who was chief lieutenant of Carlos Gambino and the Gambino crime family. So Eddie gets plugged in directly with the mob. So he doesn't need to deal with Goldfinger or Nicky Barnes, but as fate would have it. And the crazy part about it, the feds always believed, until years later when it came out, that Eddie was basically a part of the Nicky Barnes, New York.
Right.
What's the FBI agent that those guys Drew and them interviewed on that Crime Town?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
If you go on Spotify and you go to Kingpin's Kid Radio, the actual lead,
Ron Giabardo.
Ron Giavalli, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably saying his name wrong, but Ron Giavalli, who was the chief investigative officer for Special Agent Giavalli, whose first case, and as Eddie Jr. often reminds, shout out to Eddie Baby down there. And,
Big up Eddie Baby.
Check out Eddie Baby at Real True Street Crimes. Check out Eddie Baby on Instagram. He is Eddie Baby. Ron Giavalli, the Fed's working assumption for the Eddie Jackson organization was that they were an off branch of Nicky Barnes. And because the Feds, only black guys they knew who was getting jive 90% pure was Nicky and his crew.
Yeah.
So their assumption, and Farrah Lee, Eddie's first carrier to get popped, was coming from where? New York. New York. When Eddie and 5-0 get pulled over a couple years later, and Farrah Lee gets popped with 2 kilos of H coming back from New York. Eddie and 5-0, 2 years later, get popped with 11 bricks of H, 3 bricks of girl coming from New York. So the Feds, understanding their logic, they're like, obviously they're plugged into New York. So who in New York, who would they be plugged in New York who could have that kind of resources and connection? They got to be working with Nicky.
Yeah.
They didn't even fathom that Eddie was actually dealing directly with the mob. Till way after the fact.
Yeah.
Way after the fact. And then when Nicky does get in trouble, guess who his bail bondsmen are?
Oh yeah, that would be
Chucky and
Goldfarb.
Goldfarb.
Yeah.
Same guys who wrote millions of dollars worth of bonds for Pops and Eddie were the same people, and of course, because the Goldfarbs are tied in. Shout out to Chucky, shout out to Irving, R.I.P. Irving. Shout out to Chucky. I mean, these guys are big as they come.
Huge.
Big as they come. Yeah, they had the same bail. Nikki had the same bail as bondsman, was getting bailed out by the same guys who wrote bonds for Pops and Eddie for 7 years. Then when Nikki does end up in jail, he ends up at Leavenworth.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's doing time at Leavenworth then? The Fat Man. In fact, I think we talked about it before. Eddie, oh man, you know, he like, boy, don't ever let him get you in that ninja outfit. Because when they, you know, in that New York shit, when it all went south, and as you know, street legend has it, the crew, Nick, so this guy goes to jail. He's head man. While he's locked up, other members of his crew start sleeping with his broads. Yeah, they start breaking some of the rules. He's getting word in the joint that they're fucking your woman, they riding your cars. Niggas clowning them in jail. According to Nikki, they not taking care of his legal situation like they're supposed to. Again, I was a baby when all this was happening. I look at it now from a history point of view. People got different takes on it. Which rule is worse? That you don't do that to your man. That's breaking one of the rules of the street. So, according to Nikki's spin on it, y'all broke the rules. Y'all broke the rules of the street by disrespecting me the way y'all did. So I'm gonna break another rule of the street, and I'm telling. And then Nikki tells on his whole crew. Huge indictment ends up following all the guys involved with his commission. Wow. I mean, with his the council they were called. And unfortunately, a real stand-up guy named Guy Fisher ends up getting brought down. Yeah. So anyway, Nikki tells he ends up going to Leavenworth when Eddie's working in the kitchen, as he would tell the story later, when the feds, after Nikki decides he's going to cooperate, and he's like, since y'all going to play me like just locked up, y'all all about to be locked up with me. Yeah. And Eddie was working in the kitchen when the feds came and put him in the ninja outfit. Wow. Walked him out the back of the prison kitchen, and Nikki was never seen again.
Yeah, and it has been documented that
he just died actually, not a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Nicky Barnes.
Yeah, big time. Nino Brown is inspired by Nicky Barnes.
Without doubt. In fact, if you watch New Jack City, we gotta do a review on New Jack City.
Yeah, big time.
You know,
big time.
I be telling Lou what Nino told G Money. You're bigger than that.
Bigger than that.
Bigger than that. We had to stop thinking little, baby. Bigger than that. Look, Nino is, and you know, that's another one of that Hollywood shit, man. They make Nino out to be the bad guy. I mean, he did kind of rat out at the end, but that was more of a scene where Mario Van Peebles and them were trying to make a point, because what's he say? This thing is bigger than Nino Brown.
Yeah.
I got a list. I got the Colombians, the Dominicans. You know, if I go down, everybody's going down. But that was more of a political statement. But no, Nino didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't. Nino didn't do nothing wrong. Nino was playing the game kind of the way the game gets. And he tells you, man, we're going to talk about this DC. It's the guys in DC. You listen to the whole thing. And like this whole thing, they were young, and the whole thing gets brought down because of who's sleeping with whose woman. And what's Nino tell G Money? You worried about who I'm laying pipe to? What is this? You know? And then it just because going back to this Nicky Barnes situation.
Yeah.
In the end, this whole multi-$100-million organization, because you can't, all the women out here, you gotta go do this to your man. I don't be getting it. Sometimes I don't be getting what we black men sometimes be thinking. when it come to them broads, man.
Yeah, and they keep throwing it more into social media. Like,
oh man, it's rough right
come
now.
on, yeah.
You know, they wearing just like panties now.
It's panties. If you got panties, you lucky.
Well, I mean, how many rap songs you heard the guy say, "I fucked your woman. I did this. I was in." You know what I'm saying? I mean, it culturally, it's etched in our culture.
Again, let me tell you, Shabazz, about being old. This is about 2 years ago. I think I'm special. You know, I don't be on those social media platforms at all. And I'm like a dinosaur when I am. So I'm like so gullible, right? So some voluptuous young lady, I'm always hitting the, like, I don't be thinking of this shit. I hit the like button. Right? She inboxes me and was like, yada yada yada, I'm an aspiring model, da 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 da. Can I get a $50 donation? I don't even know how to do it. I called Lou. I'm like, Lou, can we send this girl $50? I don't know. This is a fucking hustle. I'm being hustled. Oh, I learned that day.
The OnlyFans mafia.
Yeah. I start going through. So after the $50 donation, I start paying a little closer attention. And I was like, oh, I think she asked all the niggas for $50.
Yeah, it's a recording.
You know, I'm old school. I'm just used to you. You want to do something? So I got to play some change. We do something strange. All of this technology to get to the same point. I'm like, well,
you got so many out there.
Why didn't you just say you needed some money, baby? We had to go through all of this shit. If a nigga be nice to you, might be nice to him. I get it.
That'd be their way of throwing a little reel out there and finding somebody.
Right. But I'm like, nigga ain't gonna pay.
Sometimes you find out it's not who you think you pursue.
Right, because I was like, well, baby, I'm old. I ain't gonna pay for no pictures. Fuck a picture. I ain't got no problem paying per se, but we ain't gonna pay for pictures. We don't do that. I'm not into photography like that, y'all.
They take it to a whole level.
It's so much shit out here now.
Yeah, it's easy money out there.
It's a lot easy money. Yeah. Come to find out, so some of the girls, when I be out doing research for the pod, I be having to go to the strip club to do research, for my job.
Yeah, strictly
your job.
For my
strictly
job.
research.
So I can keep a pulse on the street. I have to go sometime to the strip
keep
club.
Your heartbeat to the
right. So I be knowing what's going on, man. And I guess I'm like, they be like, Daddy, let me tell you. And I'll be like, okay, tell Daddy what happened. And they be telling me about this money these niggas be giving them on this damn phone. And they be like, Daddy, you got to tell me what to do with my money. And Daddy, I need to know how to invest it. You smart. You be having businesses and stuff. And I be like, at first I was like, oh, baby, you ain't getting enough money really for me to help you. Then they start, she ran her account. I was like, I think we can book all next week for your financial, because you're doing better than 90% of my clients. Unbelievable, y'all, unbelievable. But again, man, we're gonna do a deep dive. We need to figure out what's going on. When we start doing this stuff again, though, back to it. I don't know what Nikki's relatives and them are doing, but as we say, you got BMF. Right now, thank God, Meacham and shout out to the BMF family. They're really smart the way they handled that thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're getting their due out of their story that they sacrificed. Me still doing time. Hopefully, he'll be home soon. T is home. Great to see the second generation of the Flannery family now being able to go legit, get into acting, music, all the shit they're doing. Salute to them. But people like the Barnes family. I mean, it's cool that Will Smith is going to be playing him, but I'm sure Nikki got grandkids and family that need, and and I know again, I deal with it every day. We don't want to talk about it, even though this shit happened 50 years ago. Statute of limitation is gone, You guys in New York, you guys got to organize. We got to organize here in Detroit. I'm going to keep saying this.
Yeah.
Ain't none of it a secret. All this shit's public record. And if he's talking about killing somebody, don't talk about that, because there ain't no statute of limitation on murder. But the police, white folks, they already know y'all sold all the dope. That's why they put y'all in jail. As my father used to say, I know why I'm in jail. White folks say, y'all niggas went crazy. And he said, I know exactly why I'm in jail. But he's getting his roses now. So again, yeah, shout out. No, but I'm not condoning how Nicky ended his hustling career, but you can't be talking about this thing as we talk about the guys from that era who are now getting their media attention. So all I can do is throw it out there. If somebody out there, any of them, I know again, it's great to see Guy Fisher. He is out. Shout out to Guy. We did a post on him. You guys can look that up on Guy Fisher. I know he's doing some positive things.
Dr. Guy.
I'm sorry, Dr. Guy Fisher. Again, this brother, check this out. This brother, Guy Fisher, was a big guy with Nicky. Goes to jail with no high school diploma. He's the only man in the history of America. He got his, I believe, let me not be clear. I believe he got his GED. He may have had, 1 second, Ron, 1 second, 1 second. Can you get that? Because he'll keep knocking because they act like, even though he knows we're recording, it just, my people amaze me, man. I think that maybe it's not, maybe I'm yelling at the wrong person.
No, that's somebody I ain't never seen before.
Tell them we're taping. They got to come back.
Hey, we doing something up in here, man. We come back later. All right, thanks.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I just talked to this nigga. Why you not ringing the doorbell? See, this be live here, family. We don't be playing. We on the block, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, everyone's got a book. You got to get you a book. You need to write you a book.
Yeah, I know.
Inspire some people, man.
I'd
go
say
all the way back. As far as what happened after I was incarcerated, but like I said, the dream was even before I got incarcerated. You know, because before I had got my art noticed in the Charles H. Wright Museum.
And I think,
that
man,
was in the late '90s.
You know, speaking of the Goldfars, and you know, one of the best compliments I've ever heard somebody give my dad. He's just big time members of the Jewish tribe, and, you know, owned casinos and stuff. And Dad had just got out, and he was introducing me to him, and they said, you know, if your father grew up in your time, a guy like him ends up a senator or a congressman. He said, but back in his day, you know, white guys just didn't have those kind of options.
Right.
And I say that to say that you now becoming you are a critically acclaimed artist. You're so much more than that jacket that the state had on you. Guys like Nicky, how much talent we have in our community that goes untapped and unrealized, right?
Man, come on with it.
Right. And that's what the generation, or now, the old schools, they're sharing that knowledge as far as from the art. Like I say, the art is that way.
The art is that way.
Yeah.
So again, man, thank you, Brother Shabazz. We're about to wrap it up here. We want to give another shout out to Vinyls Apparel.
Yeah, I gotta get that in.
Yeah. On Davison, that's between Linwood and Dexter. And Blazing Hookah's right next to it. I believe, what was that address? It's 3246. Let me make sure. Double sure.
Wildermere and Davison.
Between Wildermere and Davison, and just ask for Vinyls. Again, the hottest stuff, that's Vinyls Apparel. Last time again, where they can reach you at on social media?
Daoud Shabazz Art. At Daoud Shabazz Art. On Instagram and DaoudShabazZArt.com on my website.
Awesome. What else we got popping, Lou?
Oh yeah, we got Making of the Mafia coming out Thanksgiving, along with our Patreon.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do. I'm just looking. I'll be looking at these Fed magazines. We'll profile. I was thinking, like each Sweets magazine and Feds that we ran an ad in. Whoever was the cover. Like, can you hand me that? Feds right there.
Yeah. This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta be tricky.
I lost one.
Yeah, there you go.
So, like, I'm thinking, this brother here, Kenneth Waller, made his fortune in the small but notorious city of Camden, New Jersey. So we'll do some info because to show you how this thing is gone, right?
Wow.
Yeah, this cover story, which was issue 34 Feds magazine. Shout out to Sister Una and Brother Black DeMayo, that whole Feds magazine family.
Yeah, big up.
But yeah, we ran this article, and back, as you see, when we ran this ad with them, the book's name was The Rise and Fall of Urban Empire. We hadn't even changed it to Motown Mafia. The iconic photo, Rise and Fall of Urban Empire. Yeah, so, you know, it'll be all, we'll do this all leading up to the premiere of The Making of the Mafia, because the guys at Feds, these advertisements and all, you know, really part of the story there, so.
And speaking of Motown, I personally wanted to send out rest in peace to Ivy Joe Hunter, unsung writer for Motown. He's written such hits as Dancing in the Streets and like numerous others. If you follow Motown and you're a fan, and I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers and listeners, just wanted to send a special rest in peace.
Awesome. Make sure you do that. Make sure that. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, and the notification bell.
Notification bell. If you guys are riding and you listen to a lot of content, any place where pods are available, we're not yet up on iTunes, but we're definitely up on Spotify and Anchor.
Yeah.
And do not forget to check in and subscribe to our sister channel, Diaspora Plugs. We're going to start doing that Money Monday thing that we used to do on here on the Big Boss, on the Motown Mafia podcast, always doing some entrepreneurial lessons, stories, and interviews. Those things will now be available on Mondays on the Diaspora Plug TV.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be able to see the full interview with Brother Shabazz and some posts from it, you know, and this is his first time here on the pod, but it will not be his last.
Definitely.
Thank you again, brother. It is. I am so proud of you, man. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. This has done my heart well, man.
Man.
That too.
So that's what we do. It's real. We be outside. We be everywhere.
Yeah.
As the young rappers used to tell me, it is not a game.
Now they say in New York, we outside.
We outside all
We
the
outside.
time. All the time, for real. Easiest people in the world to find. They don't owe nobody, and all y'all niggas who owe me, if you ain't paid me by now, I rest assured that you probably not. So it's all good.
Right.
All right, but it's your man, CRB Jr., here with Dawood Shabazz. Brother Lou, everybody good?
Everybody good. Check me out on Flyers Plus Graphics on Instagram.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Holla at your man. Peace.